Hello, welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the constructed decks that you sometimes get as a freebie when you play a few games here and there. If you can guess by the splash screen, today's deck is going to be red-green and it's going to feature dinosaurs. So let's take a quick look at that. So the deck is called Primal Fury, and as you can see, we got a ton of dinosaurs, but this one's there's a little change here, is that not there are a bunch of other good stuff that is not dinosaur related. So the normal strategy here is to ramp up to dinosaurs. So let's take a look at them. Yeah, this format's a better one. So we have the nice thing here is they give us a good number of staples. 3 copies of Llanowar Elves to 3 copies of Shock. Nice rare in Banefire. Raptor Hatchling, this one's like a good stopgap, basically something to chump block, generate something bigger. Druid of the Cowl, another good way to ramp. Thankfully, they give us staples in Lightning Strike. Kind of miss a Braid already at this point, but Lightning Strike's still good. We have Frenzied Raptor. In fact, if we want to adjust the mana base a bit, I know there's a green version of this. I don't remember if it's a dinosaur though. Anyway, as I take a look over that, we also get even more ramp in the form of Elvish Rejuvenators and Draconic Disciple. So plenty of ramp all around. Let's check in green. So I will go over a lot of the stuff that we don't have in this deck that I would like to get. Yeah, if we could lean the deck more towards green, we have an option to replace the Frenzied Raptor. Now, the 4 power is important if we are going to be working with Colossal Majesty. Now, it takes a while to get this one to stick. Usually what I would do, my experience is, I end up playing this one at 6, so I play Colossal Majesty and a Frenzied Raptor. It's something along those lines. It would be nice if we had some of the mana cost reducers. Actually, here we have Knight of the Stampede. Reduces some of our dinosaur spells by 2 mana, so it's quite good. There are some cheaper options we can play earlier, but then again, most of our dinosaurs are at the 5 or 6 range anyway, so 4 is not too bad. In fact, what this does is, on the next turn, it allows us to play a dinosaur and maybe hold up a Lightning Strike or hold up a Shock. Actually, I will be also looking on to some other combat tricks at the 2 mana range in that sense. Another rare would be Goreclaw, Terror of Calcisma. So this is our big guy legendary. So again, it's another cost reducer, but this one goes a long way with our non-dinosaur creatures. Actually, there's really only one, Pelaka Worm. But it also has a nice effect that it gives itself, other big creatures +1/+1 in trample. So nothing to scoff at. Needle Tooth Raptor, this is our dinosaur based removal. Actually, it's cards like this that make me want to look into Forerunner of the Empire. That's also a decent 4-drop for this slot. Then we have 2 copies of Charging Monstrosaur. Limited All-Star here. Charging Tuscadon, not so much a limited all-star, but this does actually get a lot of damage through if our opponent is playing with a lot of small creatures. Sure, they can chump block a bit, but it's still painful. Then again, this is probably more replaceable than Charging Monstrosaur. And most of our rares all our rares are in this slot. Thank goodness they gave us a Carnage Tyrant. Very, very nice. Etali is great, but usually if we want to run Etali, I kind of want to have Otepec Huntmaster as well. Playing this guy is not enough. You want to play End Swing. And it feels bad when you play this guy only to not be able to swing. Then we have Silverclad Ferocidons. Whenever you deal damage to it, you can force your opponent to sacrifice permanents. In actual practice, not so great because because your opponent can pretty much start sacrificing lands at this point. And it could sometimes backfire. Pelaka Worm, this could easily be the Verdant Sun's avatar. Actually, we have let's take a look for that one. Verdant Sun's Avatar. It's a bit smaller, but it won't only just give the 7 life for itself, but if you manage to start playing other creatures, you'll also gain life as much. Flip side, you don't get to draw a card when it dies. So there are many things we can think about here. So thank goodness they gave us a check land for this. They're actually, I kind of wish there are more lands at this point, but we are running enough ramp here. Actually, we're running a lot of ramp. 3, 5. We're running 11 ramp spells, so can't complain too much. Draconic Disciples also not just ramp. It's also a big beefy creature in itself in the later game. So nothing's pretty much wasted. Every drop is kind of important in. Pretty much it's only when you hit about 7 or 8 mana, that's the time the mana starts tapering off in value. That said, so that is pretty much what the deck looks like. I am going to make one change. First, let's reset this. Then let's. So, Cryolit was one of my viewers. Cryolit was mentioning, oh, this possible this might not be working anymore. No, it turns out it still is working. So basically, we reset this one. Then we get to choose which lands we want to put in. Now, considering there isn't much in the way of land discard at this point, I'm going to choose a very nice land from Ixalan. Let's see, what's a nice one here? Well, we are defending the Empire, so let's put about... Not those. Oh, and here's not. Oh, this is not so nice. You have to do this every time. No. Oh, yeah, you do have to do it every time. Yeah, that's a problem. So. And it also doesn't work when you use this one. So let's see. We do the reset here. It doesn't work when you turn on the suggest lands. You have to turn it off. Problem is, you're gonna have to be really patient doing this. So I probably do that on my own time. I'm not gonna subject you guys to me doing this for 19 lands. And not so bad. I probably will do it off screen next time. But just to show that the trick actually still works. So let's proceed with the games. So as usual, we're going to go into quick. We still have quick constructed, right? Oh no. Let's see, constructed event. Oh, they renamed it into constructed event. Let's see. Yeah, for a second I was concerned. It's now just a plain constructed event. Now it's not called quick constructed anymore. Same cost, so no cause for alarm. No need to panic. They just renamed the thing. I'm still gonna call it quick constructed. I'm kind of used to it. So into the fray with Primal Fury. Let's see how well we do here. Now there is one additional tech that I've added, and it's here, splash screen of the deck list, courtesy of visualdecklist.com. I have no way of hiding our opponent's name here, but I can hide our opponent's name up here. Now the downside is I probably should do it after mulligans, so it's a bit wonky here. That said, I am definitely keeping this one. We got to ramp, we got some removal. Hopefully we can draw into something else nice. So keeping that. And let's turn on that splash screen. Probably should find a better place to put that. And we don't need it to be that big, to be honest. Let's see. There you go. So we get to go first. We're gonna do the turn 1 Llanowar Elves. We're still in danger of losing these guys to Chain Whirler, but that's the breaks. Oh, did I turn it on? Yeah, it's on, but oh yeah, it is on. You are seeing it. I'm not seeing it. It's gonna take me a while to get used to that bit. So So we did draw into a Draconic Disciple, so we can ramp a bit, but it's gonna take us a while to get to Palaka Worm. Hopefully we can draw something a bit more mid-range. I'm also kind of thankful our opponent did not have a fungal infection at this point. So I probably will just cast a Draconic Disciple, then play Timur Gorge. So we're now at 5, virtual 6 mana next turn, but I don't know what our opponent's gonna do with it. We've got more mana, but our opponent has yet to play anything. He could easily trump us with... Okay, so he's playing a Pitiless Gorgon. Definitely gonna shock that. Wait. So let's shock this first, get that out of the way. Then Needletooth Raptor. So we just need one more mana. So we're gonna attack with our Draconic Disciple. We just need one more mana to drop our Palaka Worm. Now, considering our opponent's colors, it's not over yet. He could have a bunch of murders here. At least we'll get to draw a card, I suppose. Messenger spam. Really wonder what our opponent... Okay, opponent's playing Beast Whisperer. We now hit our Palaka Worm mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, one more mana, we can also hit our Draconic Disciple too. So I'm not gonna waste our Needletooth Raptor. Let's just drop the Palaka Worm right now. Yeah, let's not waste the Needletooth Raptor. We have to assume our opponent will have something bigger over time. And this pretty much just gives him cards, so in itself not... Okay, so he's got Vraska. He can kill our Draconic Disciple. He can kill our Llanowar Elves. He's gonna go for a Draconic Disciple. Okay, that's a good call. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I am gonna swing at the I'm gonna swing. Yeah. Now take note. Okay, this is something we take for granted, but Palaka Worm attacking Vraska, extra damage will not trample over to the player. This one's considered the end game here, so I could just swing with these guys here. Beast Whisperer is just gonna end up eating one of them. I do want to hit this mana soon. I could just go for the end game actually. So let's... So our opponent knows Vraska's gonna die. He can just chump block Llanowar Elves. We're kind of going for the damage on this route. So yeah, we're sacrificing being able to play Silverclad Ferocidons. He just chose not to block. Kind of reasonable considering I might be representing a combat trick. And he couldn't. Yeah, he's afraid I might have a combat trick. Unfortunately, if you know the deck list here, the base deck list here, there is no combat trick. So I kind of wanted to get start off with the deck that actually was one of the colors in Guilds of Ravnica, but this was the very first deck I got, and I figured this is a good time more than ever. I could wait for Ravnica Allegiance to show this deck, or even much later, but considering that the deck is dinosaur centric, I don't think we're gonna get that much out of it. In fact, we may have to consider that we may have to use traditional ramp and deviate a bit from the dinosaur team. We can stick with the enraged team, that's for sure. So our opponent gets to dig back Pitiless Gorgon and draw a card. So that's okay. So we hit our 6th mana. In fact, we can play Silverclad Ferocidons now. And I could just keep swinging with Palaka Worm. Let's be patient. So let's actually do that. No need to swing with everyone this time. And in fact, if our opponent's game is to just drop Pitiless Gorgon, we have the Banefire for it. I'm willing to drop the Ferocidons here. One thing to note is that there is a sweeper for green-black at 6 mana. It's -4/-4 thankfully, so Palaka Worm is safe. Ferocidons is kinda safe. We will lose these guys. I probably won't get a benefit out of it, but it's not too bad. What's kind of bad right now is my voice. It's still a bit wonky after all this time. So yeah, let's deal the damage that way. And let's drop the Ferocodons when it does. Well, there is one advantage to dropping this now. We have to assume our opponent is going to have an answer soon. So being able to have both of these... Actually, the nice thing is, okay, he answers these guys. I can even just Bane Fire for the Bane Fire to the face. In fact, I'm probably gonna do that just to be on the safe side. There's no need to be cute about this. I could also just play Carnage Tyrant, but nah. Let's put an end to this now. Nice thing, I only need 5. So, and that's game. I could use more Bane Fires, but that's probably gonna end up in the sideboard if ever. It's actually a nice anti-counter strategy. And well, speaking of counter strategy, we have our blue-black deck now. So far so good, 1 win. Now if any So for those who are wondering, yes, I actually am doing quite poorly in constructed. Well, I am just playing stock decks. I am not building anything up. I did try to build up a white-blue deck just to warm up through the initial quests, just to unlock. Oh, this is sad. We can't play turn 1 Llanowar Elves. We can play turn 2. We accelerate a lot. This is quite risky, and this is all just a bunch of 1/1s. I'm gonna take a risk and mulligan this first. It's probably gonna bite me. Okay, no, this is better. So turn 1, turn 2, we will have 3 mana, so we can take our time with the Timber Gorge. And Colossal Majesty. As much as I like this for card draw, this probably is gonna go. Anyway, we have 2 copies of this, so it's... okay, good. Draconic Disciple, so... turn 2 Draconic Disciple, just keep the mana flowing. Opponent's playing a life gain deck, so that might be a problem. In fact, I think that's so much a problem, I'm going to nip it in the bud right now. I'm not gonna wait for this to get out of hand. Besides, I drew a mountain anyway, so Draconic Disciple, so I got 4 mana on turn 3. Yeah, this was gonna get out of hand. Probably could have waited to burn this guy burn her instead. Hairstyle. No comment. It's not bad per se. Anyway, I'm gonna play the Draconic Disciple now. Play the Timber Gorge. Raptor Hatching is gonna come down next turn. We just need to ramp up our mana as soon as possible. I expect some cards to get wiped. I'm expecting a Hieromancer's Cage or... oh no. Ooh, this is quite bad, but well, at least I'm not worried. Well, let's go Carnage Tyrant. At least we know this guy will stick. We just have to be careful of combat tricks. And we're never gonna be able to kill this with combat, so we have to be careful with that one. We have to assume our opponent has some pump effects. So we're also still keeping... we also need to keep ramping up on mana at this point. Sure, we can drop the Ferocodons here, but we also want to hit the Draconic Disciple too. I could just swing with Carnage Tyrant, wipe these guys out, but I think it's more basically, they all just chump block this guy. I can get rid of these 2. But I think I'm better off making them respond to this instead. Nice thing is, Everdawn Champion doesn't die, but he starts having to sacrifice stuff. So, something to consider in that end. We just need to hit enough mana so we can start blocking the flyer. Actually, now's a good time. I'm gonna swing with both. I'm gonna... There could be a seal away here, so we lose the silver clad, but those are the breaks. Yep, as predicted, there's the seal away. Let's see if he tries to multi-block the... Let's see if he tries to multi-block Carnage Tyrant. Okay, he's not going for it. So, I'm actually gonna let this through. Then play Raptor Hatchling. So we're gonna save the shock for as long as possible. Still need one more mana to hit our Draconic Disciple. Opponent's at 6. He's got a Lyra online. Actually, we have an interesting trick now. We can just... I'm basically saving the shock for Danita at this point. He's not going to combat. So we got our mana. Let's see if he goes for the double first strike. Okay, he's going for it. Oh, he's going for the mass. So I will take out Lyra first. So I'm definitely gonna lose Carnage Tyrant, but that's okay. The point is, first let's get rid of this one. Actually, there's no first strike here. I probably should have hit the Everdawn champion then. So yeah, it's not gonna die anyway. So there, 3 creatures for the price of so not too shabby. So, opponent is gonna start making kitties, so that might be a problem. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's think about this. I don't have to play this now. In fact, I'm gonna hold off it as long as possible. Basically, the Draconic Disciple becomes a threat in itself. Opponent's down to 1 card just as we are. Let's see if he decides to swing for it. Okay. He might have the combat trick, so let's sack that now. He might have it, he might not. We'll see. So, block, block. Let's see if he has it. No, he didn't have it, so we managed to answer. So we managed to answer some of our opponent's threats. He might still have a remove. Nope. Sanctum Seeker, but nothing else. So now we play the Colossal Majesty. We need to hold. We need to hold this guy back, unfortunately. I could start swinging, but I'll end up just trading with Paladin of Atonement, so I'm gonna pass the turn here. We're just gonna try to start rebuilding our board again. Hopefully our opponent doesn't remove. Okay, he doesn't have it, so we're gonna start drawing into cards. Got another Draconic. So we're gonna play both. It's gonna be sad if it turns out our opponent has Cleansing Nova. In fact, you know what? I might just wait a bit. So combat. So now I'm gonna start swinging because this guy can end up becoming our trade engine. Opponent's generating tons of mana. He might be tempted to swing with Sanctum Seeker now. Nope. So keep on rebuilding. We could use a nice few jumpstart cards here, I suppose. So I'm playing it conservatively. Let's not risk the Draconic Disciple in case our opponent is aiming for a sweeper of some sort. So let's end the turn there. We have Shock to get rid of Everdawn champion if we have to. Okay, so he's going for it. So we'll lose 1 life, he'll gain 1 life. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the 4 damage, block this guy like this, then the 5 damage is gonna hit. Yeah, we'll just hit the Paladin, get it out of the way. He'll gain some life out of it, so but it's not too bad. We still have control over the board in a sense. Now there's one card I'm willing to play out. Sure, if he gets to remove it, He might have an enchantment-based removal effect, so we won't draw a card, but those are the breaks sometimes. So Colossal Majesty is actually quite good but you have to know when you need it. You can't just draw it willy-nilly. I bet our opponent has another seal away, but he probably would have used it here. So I guess he's just waiting to draw into it, I suppose. So let's see. Our opponent could be stalled out, but I bet he does have some sort of removal. So he's gonna settle the wreckage. Ooh, that's a nice one. So he takes care of both of these. We get some lands out of it. Now we play our second Draconic Disciple. Now we won't get to trigger this guy immediately, but we'll just have to make do with it, I suppose. I guess we could start swinging. We probably need to start swinging with Needletooth Raptor just to get rid of the Sanctum Seeker. So I'm gonna actually just get rid of the Everdawn Champion now, because it's never gonna die to combat damage anyway. So we're drawing these guys that we don't need at this point. Actually, if we can keep drawing into eventually our Banefire, that would be great. So I will just attack with Needletooth Raptor. Let's force the trade now. So we can end the turn here. No real rush to dump these guys. Johnny's Pridemate. Okay, let that resolve. Yeah, I'm gonna... Because Seal Away is the only one with Flash right now. There's no more cast out, so I'm gonna take my... I'm not gonna crack this on... I'm not gonna crack this on his main phase. And at the least we'll get the card out of him. So come on, Banefire. That's pretty much the only guarantee at this point. Yeah, kind of going for the throat at this point. We can ditch the Llanowar Elves now, actually. Bishop Soldier is gonna try to race back. This is a nice mini combo synergy, I guess. Shock. Frenzied Raptor. So combat again. Let's see if he goes for the double block. He does. Gonna still have another shock. Actually, I could have just aimed it at the face at this point. I wonder why I had to do it like this. So, yeah, I could have just gone for the win. That was just me being cute. Okay, so yeah, our opponent concedes at this point. Yeah, we drew off a lot with Colossal Majesty. So having the removal at the right time is quite important. So let's keep going. 2 wins. So far, so good. I think we made our entry fee back already at this point. Right now, I'm actually kind of torn with how I'm going to edit this deck. I could stick with the dinosaur team, but we can also do the just big creatures team, not necessarily dinosaurs. There are a bunch of good ones in Guilds of Ravnica. There's the Nullhide creature, 4 mana, gives you a really big creature with... It's not quite hexproof. It can be turned off. So turn 2 play. We really need 1 more mana, but yeah, this one's okay. We got removal. We got the doorstop. We got both colors. Just need 1 more mana. Let's get Draconic Disciple online. Oh, this is Merfolk. Okay, got our second mana, so... If our opponent plays an island or another merfolk, the question is, will I just block or just take the 2 damage right then there? Probably... It really depends... Okay, since he didn't play an island, this is still a 1-1. It will depend what our opponent plays next. Probably a Deep Root Elite would be a good option. Anyway, I'm willing to trade these guys off than just Lightning Strike if I have to. Oh, he didn't attack. Now here's the thing. I could burn this guy out now. And just play the Frenzied Raptor. Or I can wait for him to attack first anyway, because as much Merfolk deck, it's really tribal based. You really want to have tribal lords. If he plays a lord now, that puts this guy out of range. I want to just block with Raptor Hatchling, then just bolt the lord, I suppose. Silvergill Adept, not quite the lord, but wow, he's gonna unload his hand very soon. So we need to deal with... We won't be able to deal with Kumena Speaker as it is anymore. Not with what we have, but if we can draw into a little more mana, I guess we can start dropping Disciples and whatnot. Opponent's playing it quite rather conservatively though. So Frenzied Raptor's on defense duty. Actually, we're all on defense right now. Knight of the Stampede would be a nice follow-up even if we don't get the land. If we do get the land, I'm just dropping... Actually, I'm not too sure. I might still drop the Knight of Stampede first, because Monstrosaur into Lightning Strike is a decent play too. Well, this is our target. Okay, now we need to decide what our target should be. These guys are buff right now. This guy's gonna buff probably the Mistminder. Okay, buffing the Elite. So Kumena Speaker's not gonna get done, so I could trade the Raptor for 1 Speaker. Take the rest as damage. Yeah, I'll just do it like that. We're gonna be a bit left behind since our opponent was able to unload everything. Yeah. 4 mana. Now we're quite torn. I'm definitely gonna end up taking a lot of damage next turn. But I have to play Knight of the Stampede now. It's the only way I'm gonna get these drops down. So we're hoping our opponent doesn't have a way to interact with our guys. He's just playing solitaire on his end, hopefully. That said, if this deck is similar to the previous iteration, he probably has Dive Down, which is +0, +3, and hexproof. That might be a problem in itself. He might also have... Bounce Spells would be an interesting addition here. He'd get rid of the token. Right now it's just, pardon the pun, stemming the tide. I will play... Now I will get the choice of what to play between these two. Hopefully I can get another land so I have the Lightning Strike option open. Now this is quite bad. I may have... So as it is, I'm not blocking any of these guys. Yeah, it's gonna be really painful. Technically, I'm out already. I have no way to interact with Herald the Secret Streams. And the problem is I don't have enough man. You know what? Let's just go for a Desperation attack. Even then, if I go for a Desperation attack, I'm open anyway, so it doesn't quite matter. Well, I guess I'll just go for the pseudo-moral victory, but yeah, that's it. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's kind of good game at this point. So our opponent was able to do everything he wanted while we weren't able to. So the dinosaur deck, you really need to get an explosive start. You can say I kept a really bad hand at that point. What did I keep? Yeah, I just kept the Raptor Hatchling and the Lightning Strike. I didn't exactly draw my lands on time. So, yeah. So, good. So, in the end, we can say that a lot of our... You can say that you have won or lost the game based on what you decide to keep. So, 2 wins, 1 loss. At least we... Oh, we didn't make our... We need 2 more wins to make our entry fee back. Not so great. But you know what? I have faith. Let's keep going. After this, after I do the discussion, I'm probably gonna start running the blue-black deck just to unlock the next achievement. It's nice that if you're willing to work through the quests over time, you can get the 2-color deck every day, every other day if your schedule's not so great. But even with that, I've kind of decided to slow down my... Okay, so not such a great entry, but we got a 2, 3, and 4. I'm gonna keep this. Not quite explosive, but then again, we don't have any big cards to explode into right now. So Timber Gorge turn 1. If our opponent doesn't have a decent play, I'm gonna do Timber Gorge turn 2. So I figured that for this time around in open beta, I'm gonna slow things down a bit. I'm going to just do one episode of Limited, 1 episode of Constructed. For the other week, for the other day where I normally do another episode, I might actually want to cover a different game. I'm still figuring out which one. Wow, looks like our opponent is in the... He's got the Assassin's Trophy, Woodland Cemetery. Oh, okay, so this is a really pimped out deck. Opponent just milled 4 rares. I suppose I could just play the Frenzied Raptor if ever I'm willing to trade with the Glowspore Shaman. Or I could just take the... We'll see what our opponent does. He's reaching into his hands, got something. Okay, maybe I'm not going to trade. But then again, our opponent's not going to get into that either. So what happens is the creature comes back, then this comes back as a land. Yuck. Considering I got nothing better to do, I'm just gonna keep waiting it out. If our opponent's gonna end up sacrificing his creature just to do it, I'd rather he spend his mana than I spend my mana to get him to do what he wants. I have no idea what my dog is scratching down there. So what did... Our opponent's milling even more stuff. A bunch of lands this time. Oh wait. Okay, unfortunately Banefire doesn't exile. So that's out of the question. In fact, it's gonna be quite weird. Can I just wait until I hit that many lands and just Banefire our opponent? Nah. So it's just gonna pass the turn. We're not exactly doing anything great at this point. We're kinda waiting for our big finishers. At least we got some removal spells to keep on standby. It's a weird thing with Chihuahuas. Yeah, this is... So it will cost us 6 mana to get rid of this guy. Ah, no. So, okay, Banefire will cost us 7. We'll need to pay an additional 2, so it's gonna cost 9. Our opponent won't have any removal at this... We'll need to spend mana to cast his own removal, but man, this is... I could just actually just block with these 2 and just I could just chump it and get it over with, I guess. It's also nice that this is an anti-discard counter. So... Not getting into anything great at this point, so we're just basically accelerating the game away. Pass the turn. Yeah, I'm willing to just trade the Frenzied Raptor and the Knight for this one. We already hit our 6... We already hit 6 virtual 7 mana on its way. So our opponent is mostly creatures. So he's ditched even more lands and a bunch. So not. So let's see. Yeah, I'm willing to throw these guys away. Let's see. So it's a bad 2-4-1. And I still don't want to spend this guy yet. I wish I had the mana up before he put this thing down, but now I definitely can't let this die now that this thing's in the graveyard. Even if it costs 5 mana to return a creature from graveyard to battlefield, there's one annoying creature enough as it is, so that's a no-go for us. So we're facing off against a really tuned deck, and so at least we now have a short list of cards that we want for our sideboard now. So green and red, so if we're looking for graveyard removal, that's actually more. Okay. So let's see what our opponent does. Our opponent can actually just +2. Yeah, he's gonna +2 this one. So there, at least we didn't spend a card on this. So you think there's a chance our opponent could mill himself to death? No, I don't think so. Let's see what our opponent ditches. Ooh, he's even got Doom Whisper. So yeah, we're not tuned against this deck. Opponent's gonna might want to start swinging in. Oh, he's not. He's actually very conservative. I can just go for a moral victory, get rid of Vraska. You know what? I don't think I'm gonna win this game at this point. Having to deal with, because it's gonna take me 9 mana just to answer another Nullhide Ferox. And our opponent's gonna eventually start using the -3 emblem, so yeah, we're not gonna hit it anytime soon. Yeah, so sort of a moral victory, but we are going to lose this game at this point. We basically allowed our opponent to do everything they wanted, and we didn't get to interact until much later. Even then, Journey to Eternity on the right time, it does scare you from interacting with it. And it's actually going for Doom Whisper. So yeah, he's going for the up top effect. I guess I could swing with the Frenzied Raptor, but it's probably gonna just get chumped by these guys. Doom Whisper is actually very good in the blue black deck, but Surveil is not so bad either. So we got Pelaka Worm. I guess I'm just gonna drop it now. At least I can say I did something. Air quotation marks. But yeah, the odds of us winning. Okay, let's say we take a hit from Doom Whisper. We go to 20. We swing at Pelaka Worm. He'll probably chump with these guys. We could extend the game a little bit because we have the removal in hand, but it's only a matter of time the opponent answers with the Nullhide Ferox next. Actually, this might be interesting. Let's see how much life our opponent's willing to throw away. Because he's actually now getting rid of the bad cards in his the cards he doesn't need, like additional lands. He's now just aiming for the big cards. I kind of wish I had to use the Banefire anyway, but will it come to a point where our opponent actually brings his life low enough that we can finish him with spot removal? Honestly, I don't think our opponent needs to play any more cards from his hand. He can just play from his graveyard. Journey to Eternity. This is a very nice setup. a flipped Journey to Eternity. What was his full name? Atsal. A flipped Atsal Cave of Eternity. It's basically it's basically a dredge payoff. Actually, the next deck I'm gonna play is some green black. This is one direction to take it, but yeah, I saw the deck. You're not gonna get any of these cards from there. All the cards will have to come from the. All the cards will have to come from your wild cards. So we're gonna take 6. I am gonna swing with Palaka Worm. Palaka Worm's job's just to get rid of Nullhide Ferox. See if he can get rid of other stuff along the way. Because Nullhide... Okay, so he's gonna chump block. Let's see if he chump blocks properly. Oh, he didn't. Sure, he can keep buying it back again, but it might make him. It might give him pause. He might start thinking of dumping the other guys next time. So he gets to dump even more cards. Tree, tree of a kind. Okay, so yet another moral victory of sorts. We've answered Nullhide Ferox a second time. Let's just play Draconic Disciple now. In this actually, if we can crack this guy, we could answer Doom Whisperer. We are still in the losing battle. Our opponent just can keep getting his stuff back over and over again while we cannot. So, but our opponent spent his money on this deck. We're now gonna make him work for the win. One can even say it's it was kind of the principle that the Japanese had during World War II. Woo. Oh wow, this is basically, I wouldn't call it modern dredge because it's standard, but yeah, this is new dredge. Oh wow, art is quite nice here. Actually, it makes you almost think it's foil. And he's gonna actually start pinging that way. So our opponent was surveilling enough just to dump lands so he can start drawing into good cards. He was surveilling enough so that he can start. So, no blocks. Ironically, we need to hit one more mana. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, because even if I crack this, I won't be able to answer this. Yeah, at this point we're actually kind of lost. We're going to take a lot of damage just from these guys alone. So yeah, so our opponent really did the work. So let's swing with everyone. It's kind of a concession. Seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Our opponent is not yeah, he's gonna block. Our opponent is not careless as to just take damage. If he dumps everything here, let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's gonna try to dump enough to kill it, so that's got to be like 7 insects. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he's just gonna put everything in front. Yeah, this is gonna be an interesting interface. I have no. What if I want to put this one third or fourth? Nah, let's be real. Yeah. Oh, there. Oh no, that was just for the first one. Okay. So we're going to lightning strike Izoni. Actually, not. Let it through, cause the creatures are dead anyway. Okay, let's wipe as many bugs as we can. Gun card out of the effect. Lightning Strike. Yeah, good game. Yeah, I'm gonna concede at this point now. Wait, you know what? I'll wait. Yeah, let's concede that let's concede this point. He's not doing anything at this point. I already said the good game. He said the good game. It's already understood. I'm gonna concede. I apologize if you're going for an achievement, but that's the break. So we're kind of doing well and good into 1 hour at this point. So we got a few long games here. It's gonna be kind of awkward for me to cut this down. I normally typically say that this is a 1 hour. This is 1 hour video. We're getting there already. I personally wouldn't mind losing at this point now, but I do mind having to wait this long. So let's start that again. At least we know the cancel button works. It so happens this run is not so great. We only got 2 wins and 2 losses so far. We could, I did some semi decently with this deck anyhow. Yeah, this might be the sad part there. What will happen if I had to cut this halfway and just and find filler for something else? This might be the reason why I was doing three videos a week. But no, I'm kind of decided I want to branch out a little bit too. We got the mana we need. Well, we're missing red. We got no payoffs. We just basically got 2 1/1s and a whole bunch of nut. So I'm gonna mulligan this one. Okay, this one is better. We just need 1 more mana for Elvish Rejuvenator. I'm gonna keep this one. Yeah. It's gonna be embarrassing if we don't draw into our 3rd land. But okay, at least we got 2 shocks, so we can't complain too much. We can answer a bunch of our opponent's early game threats, but we do need to hit that 3rd land soon. Okay, Martyr of Dusk. Not the best thing I want to answer with... You know what? I got nothing better to do with the mana. Let's just burn it now. Okay, we're still not drawing our 3rd mana. This is gonna be a very fast end. Well, then again, at least I make it within the time slot. And you know, guess what? I can't answer. I might be able to answer the next guy with shock, so we'll see. Let's see what he gets. Oh, I can't even answer this guy. So this is another thing to look forward to in Mentor. I guess I just answer him now. And yep, we didn't draw into our lands. You can see it's kind of like tap. And that's my homage to tap concede. Our opponent's gonna hit. Oh, heroic reinforcements. This is the super aggro deck now. I actually saw this deck at work. It's really great. So thankfully this guy doesn't have haste. I could play the Draconic Disciple just to get... Well, because we have 2 ways to get 4 mana, but I'm gonna need to chump block, so might as well play this guy. Okay, at least we get to look at the top 5 cards. Opponent's turn to play Shock. At least our opponent doesn't get to play Mentor. We kind of have to play the Frenzied Raptor. At least it trades with the Bugler. It's also gonna eat a Shock too. Let's be honest. So we're just waiting for... So we're kind of looking for mana back to back to back. Yeah, I'm gonna trade. So we didn't quite get the mana back to back to back. So yeah, this is so double strike. We actually need to keep this guy alive. I don't think our opponent's gonna agree. Yep, there's his shock. Gonna go down. So his lack of red mana is preventing us from losing even faster. And I think that's just about to change. So, wow. So we did it. So that is the weakness. So this is the basic weakness of a ramp deck. If you don't hit your mana on time, we may need to adjust our ramp effects. We may need to adjust our card draw effects. And sometimes you get a lava face lava axe out of nowhere. Lava face is what you get after you have the eat the lava axe. Kind of like the long lost brother of Taser Face. So we didn't get much, but okay, we didn't get quite much. Hey, well, we got our 4th copy of Lightning Strike, so that there's something. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna move ahead to we're gonna move ahead to deck construction. So I'm just gonna set that up in a second. But all in all, it's a decent demonstration of the deck. So I guess it's welcome back to me for constructed. So, okay, so here is the Primal Fury deck in all its traditional glory. You notice that there's actually more. I actually notice now there's more green in the mana than red, even though there are more red cards. So we may have to make adjustments for that. So let's make the initial changes. First off, let's bump certain cards up. Some certain cards need to be 4-offs. Llanowar Elves and Lightning Strike are guaranteed. Shock, not so much. I might actually. It might actually be a good sideboard contender. Druid of the Cowl. Okay, let's replace this with let's make a version that uses the the dinosaur team. So Siege Dinosaur. We actually might want commune with the dinosaur. Okay, let's do an all dinosaur version of this one. So I'm looking. Yeah, so we're gonna replace that with Drover of the Mighty, because we do need colors. Sure, this is soft against Goblin Chain Whirler, but still better. So we're gonna bump that up. Let's. So what are the cards that are weaker? Charging Tustodon's actually okay. Elvish Rejuvenator is doing its job. We never got to draw Gore Claws. That's a shame. Raptor Hatchling is probably the weaker link. Silverclad Ferocidons is also a weak link here, in my opinion. So I bumped it up 3 Drovers. We could ramp up 1 to 3. I actually think that the Elvish Rejuvenator is doing a good job in itself, but we don't have any big mana lands here, so let's see. Oh yeah, let's make an adjustment to Frenzied Raptor. That's the 4/2 in red. Let's replace it with the Frill Claw. Yeah, Frill Death Spit. We actually need to make room for Forerunner of the Empire. So let's make 3 copies of Forerunner. Let's drop the Frenzied Raptors at this point. Let's be honest, Colossal Majesty is a late game card. I'm not gonna play this turn 3. I want to have better things to do on that turn. Elvish Rejuvenator is one of them. So charging Tustodon, it was good in my actual practice, but let's drop that because we're now doing the Forerunner play. I do have a copy of Galta from the green pre-con, so let's definitely add that. Pelaka Worm, we get to draw a card when it dies, but let's substitute that with Verdant Sun's Avatar. Just to keep it on team, but also to make the ramp easier. Knight of the Stampede, it's decent ramp. From from 4, your 7 drops can be hit on turn 5 easily with this, but I kind of don't want this that early. In fact, I might want the Otepec Huntmasters instead. So I'm putting 2 copies of this. So basically our ramp is mostly on 1 and 2. Got Burn on 2. Needletooth Raptor. Actually, I'm gonna drop the Elvish Rejuvenator for my old standby Ranging Raptors. I'm basically rebuilding this deck out of memory at this point. So I'm gonna add some Trashing Brontodons to the sideboard. So Draconic Disciple. This one's a good late game drop. So no, it's a good early game drop. It's a good late game drop. It's sure it's not Dinosaur, but it does fix your mana, so that one stays. So we had 60 cards here. We can. Oh, Forerunner can shooter for. But the sad thing is, if we're running Forerunner, our Llanowar Elves is not so great anymore. So I might actually drop that. Just bump up the Drovers instead. Keep the Shocks. Let's commune with dinosaurs. Let's give ourselves a different and I can't spell commune. Hold on. Wait. Commencement. Yeah, there you go. Commune with dinosaurs. Sad thing with this one just puts it into hand. It's not really a ramp. But it does shooter for dinosaur, but it is extra card draw. Adventurous Impulse, 3 cards deep, but it allows us to get other things as well. I guess that's why I'm running Ranging Raptors, because sometimes we will miss a lot of our ramp cards with Commune. Adventurous Impulse might not be so bad, especially since we have a lot of even though we're a dinosaur deck, this is not a pure dinosaur deck. Wait, let's see if we have other options also. So let's measure our ramps. We got 3, 7, 9. So we got 9 virtual ramp spells. Technically we have 12 virtual ramp spells, so quite decent here. Let's actually look at let's go take a look at some of our other dinosaur enablers here too. Now we could do a Naya version of this. We have other options here as well. So if we went white, I could substitute the Draconic Disciple with Atsokan Seer. That would be an option we have. I remember playing with Form Dinosaur. This one is quite fun. So we also need to fill out our sideboard too. Actually, I might just drop the Shocks here. Let's make more room here. So Charging Toss of Knowledge, Colossal Dreadmaw, or note that we did cut out a bit some of our extra card draw. Colossal Majesty. You know, I guess wait, we actually might need some extra removal now, so hold on, where is that? Well, let's put a copy of Polyraptor would be great. So I might actually just drop the Colossal Majesty plant. It works with, or we can put in the sideboard for now. But we need to have better dinosaurs here. So this one just enables Raging Swordtooth enables our enrage. Raging Regisaur kind of enrage also. Regisaur Alpha gives our dinosaurs haste. It's kind of like a virtual Otepec Huntmaster, so I will add one. Actually, I might add just 2 of those. That's not such a bad idea. Ripjaw Raptor, 4/5 draws cards, also quite good. So let's just add 2 of those for now. So it puts less pressure on our ramp, and it's actually more reasonable. Turn 2 ramp into turn 4 Ripjaw is actually quite good. So I might actually just bump that up to 3. Yes, I'm putting more rares in, but that's pretty much... I'm basically giving a direction how we can adjust this deck. Savage Stomp, additional form of removal, in case we have to remove bigger things. Rabbit Bite kind of works also, but we do have Enrage triggers, so getting hit is not so bad. Let's see. I'm missing... Yeah, Territorial Allosaurus is our other virtual removal. So I guess I'm happy with these as dinosaurs, but now let's fill out the let's fill out the rest of the deck. So we have Trashing Brontodons here for enchantment art. We need some graveyard removal if we're gonna expect. We're gonna need some graveyard removal. So wait a minute. Yeah, excellent to this standard. So why am I still getting Amonkhet cards? Okay. Yeah, this. Yeah, so this one is showing standard. Oh yeah. So it's still showing current standard. So we're actually not gonna get any GRN cards here. I do want to check out artifact. I do want to check out some artifacts though. Let's see. Where's that filter? So colorless. Okay. So graveyard removal. Because we're gonna need that. Sorcerer's Spyglass. We might still need that. But let's look for graveyard removal that is not Amonkhet based. Not... Okay, Ixalan gives us Silent Gravestone. This would be a good counter for the Journey to Eternity deck that we saw earlier. So I guess it's reasonable. Let's put 2 copies of that. Let's see what else do we... And it is... Then... So we got those bases covered more or less. Now let's take a look at some cards from GRN. So let's change the filters. Then let's see. Green, red. Contain at least 1 of. Okay, so it's not... So it's still not working quite properly yet. Yeah, we're only No, let's just show all cards. Yeah, it's technically not standard right now, so let's change that filter. Yeah. If we went the... So I'm gonna do this build for now. I'm also gonna do another build that is not... That is if we ditch the dinosaur team. Let's just go big creatures. We might actually have more leeway with that one. So we saw our opponent play Beast Whisper. That is another way to get card draw. Kind of soft though. Tree toughness. Bounty of Might. Oh, this one. Oh, this one wrecked me in one game. Circuitous Root. This is another form of ramp, but 4 mana. It's kind of the same reason why I ditched Knight of the Stampede in this case. So we are there is the one creature with there is the 3/2 creature that is a very good sideboard fit. Let's see, Tristic Guide. This one just search for basic land or gate, reveal it, put it in your hand. Not quite Elvish Rejuvenator, but it is a bump on the power and toughness, and it's just outright search. There's no chance of 5 card miss. You're not going to be betrayed in the top 5 cards. I guess I'll consider this on for the non dinosaur build. But we do need to fill out. We did have a problem with flyers there, so that's not Grappling Sun, dude. No, this is just a plant. No, there's an Elvish Warrior at 2 mana. It's really busted. No, Iron Shell Beetle, Hitchclaw Recluse, Crowl Harpooner. Oh, it's... So this one's a 3/2. It enters, and you can fight a flyer if you have to. So I'm definitely putting 2 copies of this. I might actually just put 3 copies. Shrink the number of Savage Stomps, I guess. Savage Stomp feels like a win more at this point. So this is the dinosaur vert. So this is the version 2.0 Dino version. So we'll analyze this deck now. Let's see. Do I have time to do another? No, I'm actually quite over time. But let's do. As you can see, whoa, we need to adjust that mana. So definitely. So yeah, we haven't fixed that mana base. So Rootbound Crag, definitely 4 copies. Okay, 5 is too many. Timber Gorge, let's drop it down to... Actually, we'll just remove... Yeah, I want to remove this card. We'll remove it altogether. Let's clear that. Let's see, let's find the land that we will, since this is the dinosaur version, let's get Unclaimed Territory. Another way to fix mana. So there's our 60 cards. We will need to adjust down the mountains, adjust up the forests. Actually, there is one card I want to add. I feel like Archer Faraska is always going to be a standby. I'm just going to leave one copy in for now. And since we ditched most of the 1-drops, we're basically on a 2-drop timer. Yeah, this deck appears to be legal in October 18. Yeah, so we're working towards that. We're still keeping the Banefire. Actually, more Banefires in the sideboard is a good direction. I haven't really gone through over all the Guild of Ravnica cards. I might go over them when I revisit the deck. But this is an initial look on how I would make this for dinosaurs. If you guys want to see a non-dinosaur version of this, maybe running a bunch of beasts, Affectionate Indrik is a good choice. Let me know in the comments if you're actually interested to see a version of that. And we may eventually have to see a version for that when Ixalan rotates out, but that's a bit of a while away. Overall, I think dinosaurs by themselves are not too bad. It's still a 2-component deck where you want... Well, sure, you can just play it normally, but it's quite painful. But thankfully, we have cards like Forerunners that help us tutor, ramp cards that help us get up to that point. So with the correct mulligans, with the correct hand keeps, it won't be so bad. So this is what the deck looks like now. Basically, yeah, just a nod to the Polyraptor combo. Otherwise, we only added 1 mythic. If you can add more Carnage Tyrants, definitely do so. Well, but anyway. So that's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Ciao.